I'm Sharon from Philadelphia, originally from London.
I'm Fred from Philadelphia, originally from Philadelphia.
So you want to share a little bit about, you're down here in Cuba, as we can see from the sign behind you. Can you share some of the highlights, some of the things you've been doing here?
I think what's been amazing about this trip is, when we go to different places, we always feel like it's hard to get a sense of the culture and how the people live, and we feel like tourists. And with this trip, we really did a deep dive into the culture, the art, the music of the Cuban people, the history, and we really feel like we got a sense of Cuban life and the Cuban people, and
it's been wonderful.
And a lot of joy and a lot of celebration. The music is just wonderful. What people are doing with creatively with art and with restoring, with what little they have, making use of that in terms of art, in terms of automobiles. And we got to see some innovative work that people are doing in the ecological sphere, and organic farm and arboretum.
People are getting to understand a little bit about Cuban airports too.
And they are indeed.
And everywhere we went, we had expert guides, and really warm and eager to inform us and help us to feel part of Cuban culture for these days that we're here. And it's been a lovely group in terms of the camaraderie and the time we spent together. It's an extremely rich experience over 4 or 5 days.
Was any part of the trip a surprise to you? Things that you had been hearing over the years about Cuba and you found to be different than what you've heard?
So different from some Americans. I'm English and I don't have the same necessarily pre-existing notion of Cuba in a negative way. I've always seen it in somewhat positive light despite its problems. And I think that was just confirmed. The people are striving to do amazing things in less than ideal conditions, but with open hearts and wanting to share with us, and that's been really special. And Jerry, you and William and Jocelyn have just paved the way for us to have an intense and wonderful experience.
Very memorable.
Thank you. So from friends who say, Cuba, I can't go there, and you probably heard things like that, you probably have a different message now that you can share.
Oh yeah, we're hoping to come back. So we got a taste and we want to return to explore more.
Well, the way the trip was organized made it all very accessible and very easy. Things were planned, and coming here everything was much easier than I anticipated. It was a direct flight from Newark, easy travel. I might have had some expectations. I didn't have any negative views of Cuba. I was really curious to understand more about Cuba, but in terms of security, it's there, it's a presence, but it's pretty laid back. It wasn't, the whole travel experience and any encounters we had with authorities were really benign, and that was a little bit of a surprise.
Well, thank you both for being here, and thank you for sharing with people, and hopefully they'll learn more about Cuba through you. And it was wonderful sharing the travel experience with you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.